Welcome to PMPA's Final Cut of the Week, where we share important information you may have missed while you were making essential parts. I'm Veronica Durden.
And I'm David Wynn, and this is what you need to know for the week ending November 1st, 2024. The number of job openings fell by 418,000 in September 2024 from a downwardly revised 7.861 million in August and below market expectations of 7.99 million. This is the lowest level since January 2021, indicating the tight labor market is easing. Our take: these levels are a continued sign that search for new performers should be getting easier. Less companies searching means more qualified applicants available in the pool of potential performers.
PCE increased 2.1% year over year, the lowest level since February of 2021. August was revised up slightly to 2.3%. September core PCE increased 0.3% month over month, slightly higher than the expected 0.1%. Consumer prices have moved in the right direction, currently hovering around the Fed's target of 2.0%. The month-over-month increase of 0.3% in the core PCE is a sign that inflation may not be out of the picture yet, as continued increases in that range would annualize to 3.6%.
Real gross domestic product, or GDP, increased at an annual rate of 2.8% in the third quarter 2024, which is slightly below the forecast number of 3.0%. Second quarter real GDP increased 3.0%. With 2 quarters of nearly 3% GDP, it looks like we are on track for a decent year economically. Our business trends report has been a positive signal this year, indicating less volatile sales, but still slow, steady growth.
Google is currently testing the ability to watermark text produced by large language models or generative AI. This would produce special characters or text that are undetectable by humans, but allow the text to be searched and determine if it was produced by AI. With the prevalence of generative AI, it is interesting that identification is necessary. Our emails formulate our responses for us. Our phones guess the next characters in a text message. How do you feel about generative content being labeled and detectable?
In case you missed it, these are the topics discussed on PMPA's listserv communities this week. 1035 steel, black zinc phosphate vendor, tree pan tools breaking on a 3/8/304 stainless steel Brown and Sharp 2G job, SDS sheets for outside processing, and OSHA 300A logs. PMPA members may ask and answer questions on our powerful listserv communities by going to pmpa.org.
Does your company treat all first aid incidents as recordables? On this week's Speaking of Precision podcast, Miles Free, Carly Kistler-Miller, and David Wynn dive into what the difference is and why you need to know this in your shop. This podcast and our Speaking of Suppliers podcast can be found on major podcast platforms or on pmpa.org.
Now it's time for our weekly tip. Our performers can be focused on safety when they are comfortable. Think of it being like Maslow's hierarchy of needs for the shop. For our performers to be safe, they must be well fed, have plenty of rest, and be comfortable, and then they can move up to safety, then productivity. To learn more about making safety comfortable, go to pmpa.org's Knowledge Centers or Final Cut of the Week.
And that's our take on what you need to know for the week ending November 1st, 2024. For additional information and links about any of the topics discussed today, go to pmpa.org and click on Final Cut of the Week.
Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you next Friday.
And it starts.
Focused on safety when they are comfortable. Let's try that again.
Prevalence.
I guess that's right.
How do you feel about generative text? Oh, I was so confident that it was text.
Generative text.
Now it's time for our weekly tip. Performers.
Hey, I made it through that. I made it through it. Don't say a thing. I made it through.